racing. It's in our blood. From the No Limits at Texas to the high-speed banks at Daytona.
I mean, nobody's going to catch that 3-truck of Hal Amy as he takes it.
From the drop of the green flag. To green flag pit stops. It's in our DNA. We live for it. There's 7 nights in a week. And only one night matters to us. The moment to prove that we're the best. Laying down an entire season. Pushing the limits. We're made for it.
Bumper, Artie Peterson out to the lead. Glenn Jamison's pushing hard now. Garrett behind him. Top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Artie's going to drop down to the inside. 10 car's going to start pushing. These guys are getting a little dicey back in 5th and 6th place. Little contact between the 14 and the 70. 63, 3 wide in the front. Artie Peterson stuck out in the middle. Brandon Winning, we got a car down on the apron, 70 car, and now a car up in the wall. We got a wreck behind him. 1 lap to go. Rick Fagone has got the position right now. Garrett Helblinger and Glenn Jamison neck and neck. We got a push on the inside, push on the 10 car. Rick Fagone looks like he might pull it off neck and neck at the line, and the 10. Oh, the Garrett Helblinger, I can't believe what I just saw. It looks like Garrett Helblinger.
Survival of the fittest. 16 chase drivers. 1 championship. Who's got what it takes? As they give the command to start the engines, it's time to find out. WFO is live right now.
On it, but man, Fagone has just a perfect 1 and 2 right there, Nation. Fagone's going to bring it off the bottom out of turn 4. Can he hold them off to the start finish line? And I believe he's going to, Nation.
Good win. WFO Twisted Tuesday Truck Series presented by Amy Contracting is live here tonight. North Wilkesboro Speedway, 165 laps and 3 limited sets, I believe, 4 maybe, including the ones on the car. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Welcome everybody to the stream. It's gonna be a great one. I got a lot of guys up here on the grid right now, so we're getting ready to look. Keaton Tripp back here in this 26 machine is gonna start on the pole, putting up a very fast lap time. Magic tires on the track here. I like it. With an 18.474. Take you through your grid. As soon as I get this button to work. There we go. Keaton Tripp and Rick Fagone on the outside. Second row is going to be Vern Bradley with Todd Cleveland. Dustin Germain and Troy Cook moving through the field. Row number 4 is going to be Tommy Haynes and Richard Holland. Row number 5, Chuck Sweeting and Dakota Floyd. Row 6 is going to be Jacob Daniels and John T. Wimbish. And row number 7 is going to be Kyle Stewart and Brian Beach. Matt Egan and Burt Wilson. 17th position belonged to Christopher Spencer. And 18th for John Sanu. 19th, Glenn Jamison and Michael McCauley. Christopher Campbell is going to round out your field. I believe Michael McCauley will be up in the booth tonight. I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's check and see if the 81 is on grid. He is not, so. Big field here tonight. A lot of cars. These guys get the command to start the engines. 2 pace laps around this place should do it. Larry Dickerson, good to see you in the chat, though. Larry, we got a lot of action for you here tonight. 165 laps at North Wilkesboro. It's going to be grueling, but these guys are up to the task. I think they're going to be able to handle it. All right, 26 car, Keaton Tripp. For some reason, there we go. ATVO is giving me fits right now. Chat, I don't know exactly what's going on, but the lights are out on that iRacing pace car. Flagman getting ready to wave the green. He's got it in his right hand. And we're getting set to go racing here at North Wilkesboro. We've seen a lot of different guys up here towards the front of these short tracks compared to the D-shaped ovals that we've been used to running all season long. Keaton Tripp able to pull off a win there last week in the Xfinity Series, so he's coming off of some confidence as he starts on this pole. Vern Bradley issues with the knee, but hopefully he can get that behind him. Green flag is in the air, and we're ready. WFO Twisted Tuesday ARCA. And already Keaton Tripp getting out to a lead. Hanging on. Rick Fagone on the outside back here. Fagone looked like he's got Vern Bradley on the inside, and we've got a yellow flag somewhere on the speedway. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. Believe it was the 18 of Brian Beach getting involved. Maybe Christopher Spencer also. Let's rewind and take a look at that. All right, here they come out of turn 4, or turn 2 rather. Now going into 3 and 4. Oh man, the 72. So it's in front of him. Jacob Daniels gets snappy loose, bounces off the wall. These guys have nowhere to go. So let's back it up one more time. Yep, he just locks it up, hits the curb, and bounces into the 18 and the 11 of Christopher Spencer. So 2 different guys involved that were just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. John Sanu might have been able to get by that unscathed. I think he's going to be okay. But already 4 laps into this thing, 3 laps in, and we have a caution. 72 struggling with pit road here. Trying to get to a stall. This is a very tight pit road. Very small track. They've got the grouping pretty tight down here in these pit stalls. And I believe the 72 was going to have to burn a fast repair very early in this race if he's going to want to keep up with these guys. A lot of braking going into these corners. Takes a pretty good muscle memory to transition your feet if you're one of those drivers that likes to keep both feet up on the pedals. A little bit easier, but not very used to using the left foot. That can be a problem. And you're using a ton of brake bias, probably somewhere between 58%, 64% in that range. And that's a product of what you just saw. Guys locking it up, going into the corners. It can be really, really tough to adapt your driving style for a shorter track like this. North Wilkesboro, one of the more recent tracks on the iRacing service. And some of these guys have only been here a handful of times. Maybe this might be their second, maybe even a debut race for some of these guys. So it'll be interesting to see how this field takes shape. 5 laps in, we're pacing. Lights are about to go out on the iRacing pace car. And we're going to try to go green for the second time, see if we can get some green flag laps. I did mention to some of the guys before we went live, I predicted 1 caution before lap 15, and I think after that, we're going to settle down for a little bit. These guys will go green, and maybe we'll get some green flag pit stops. I won't stretch it that far in my imagination, but I do think we'll get some green flag laps somewhere in the 30 to 50 range, just to see what these guys have got. So cars from attrition. Nobody out of this heat yet, but the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to find out who brought the practice laps, who put in the time here. Vern Bradley is going to start right behind your pole sitter, Keaton Tripp, and this field really didn't change much. We had the 114 inside of Rick Fagone in that 10, and I know he's going to want to try to get to the inside sooner this time. There's the green, and there goes Keaton Tripp. He caught him napping a little bit, and he's able to jump out to about half a second as they go into 1 and 2. Keaton Tripp out to an outstanding lead. Just behind him, the 10 of Rick Fagone. You can see he's not quite bearing it down as low into the corner, and that allowed the 114 to get to the inside. Vern Bradley's going to take away second position now from Rick Fagone. You can see Vern Bradley driving right up to the 26 machine of Keaton Tripp, starting to make up some ground here. 17 back in the about 8th position right now. He had a couple guys on his inside. He's since cleared it up though. And then we've got the fan favorite. I would say it's a battle between 2 different guys, Hal Amy being one of them. But right now on the track, we've got Troy Cook running in 4th. And this top 4 has pretty much single filed out. Larry Dickerson casting his vote. And if you guys are interested, put the hashtag your driver number for driver of the day. Post-race interview. We've got a big race back here, 31 car. He's got Todd Cleveland and Tommy Haynes all over the rear bumper of this machine.
Yellow's out.
And yellow flag. We made it to lap 14 before it came out. 114 of Vern Bradley hits the inside wall, slides it all the way through the grass, and unfortunately hits the gate in the guardrail. That did a lot of damage to that right front, I can already tell. Let's see if we can get a replay. Find out what happened to Vern Bradley. All right, so here they come off of turn 2, actually 4. They're going into 1 and 2. I believe this happens on the back straightaway where he gets really loose just too much throttle there off the corner. Bounces it on 2 corners of the car. Thankfully, was able to get slowed up enough. I don't think it did anything terrible to that machine. But caution number 2 out on the track here. And that's going to leave the lead here to Keaton Tripp. He's able to lead 15 of these laps with limited sets of tires. I know some of these guys are thinking about fuel at this point. I know that it is a possibility. You might see some guys come in, stop and go. Guys that might be a little bit off on this stint. Matt Egan. Burt Wilson might have brought it down pit road. Glenn Jameson starting back here in the 17th spot. So some of these guys might have elected to pit. And I believe it's a good call. I think bringing it down pit road right now, getting some, topping off with some fuel, maybe go a little bit further if we do go green. It could be an advantage if the tires wear down. I see this track with all the braking that they're having to put into these corners. It's gonna take its toll on these tires very quickly. So Vern Bradley stuck on pit road right now. I hope he can get out of that stall before the pace car comes through. Boy, that was close. He waited as close as it gets here. Good to see you in here, Bill. Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome to the stream, guy. Nation 01 will be sure to harass you all the way through. Make sure to give it back to him. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow, share, all the things that we typically ask you to do. And leave the notifications turned on so you never miss a single race here at WFO. Through the field, your top 5. We'll throw it up on the screen. Keaton Tripp, Rick Fagone, Troy Cook, Richard Holland, and Tommy Haynes. Todd Cleveland was sneaking into that top 5. He was in and out of it a few times. But really, as soon as we got to watch some racing, we had some boys going side by side. The yellow comes out, and we missed potentially a pass for the lead there. Because Vern Bradley was on rails. The train departed to the wrong portion of the track. Here we go. Pace car's off. Keaton Tripp catches him sleeping again. Troy Cook's going to move up to 3rd here. He gets to the inside of the 10. He might be taking away 2nd position here. Troy Cook still down on the inside of Rick Fagone. Able to clear him off of 4. They really tossed that machine down into the corner. You see the 51 all the way to the bottom. These guys getting super close to this exit wall out of 4. And now Richard Holland's going to go around Rick Fagone. Tommy Haynes sees the door opening up. Ricky just needs to get to the bottom. He's going to lose a ton of time, a ton of ground. I know that's not where you want to be right now, but he started on the outside. He got pinned up there, and now he's got Sweeney looking to the inside. And he clips the wall going into 3. He's going to lose a couple more spots here. But now he's able to run his line, maybe take it to the bottom of the track, make up for some of that lost ground. But Keaton Tripp right now, 1.1 seconds ahead. And he did a great job at Milwaukee last week on both races. Was able to complete the perfect race in the Xfinity car, and now finds himself in the lead with 24 laps led. Awesome job by the 26 so far. 51 Troy Cook running in 2nd position. We got Richard Holland just behind him. Currently no lead changes. Tommy Haynes, 17 Toyota Tundra. Looking pretty solid here tonight. And then Chuck Sweeney just behind him. And that's your top 5 right now as it stands. Trying to sort these guys by the gap between their cars. Closest 2 cars on the track right now. Gonna have to go with this battle right here. We've got the 11 passing John Wimbish, the 114 of Vern Bradley just behind them. The 11 just not able to clear. That's Christopher Spencer, who got caught up in that first accident when the 72 bounced off the wall. And look at Vern Bradley back down to the bottom. He's trying to get back up there in that top 3. He was racing for position earlier. Now has a lot of work to do. 114 is gonna clear Wimbish here off of 4. Nicely done for the 56 though. He's able to hold on. He's not getting loose on the exits. It's a big problem here at this racetrack. When you get up on the outside of somebody, it's very easy to lose it. Back up here to your top 3, we've got Chuck Sweeney looking to the inside of Tommy Haynes for just a second there. '17 bounces it off the wall there down the front stretch. And now that's opened the door big time for the 75. He's working position here. He's trying to get that 4th spot away. Just so tough to pass, as you can see. He peeks the inside again. Thought maybe the 75 was going to get by the 17 for a split second there. We got some racing behind him, though. The 11 car, the 114, they are coming. Christopher Spencer has Vern Bradley on the outside right now. And the outside line looks like it's been prevailing a little bit. Almost 3 wide into 3 and 4. Vern Bradley backs it up a little bit. Bradley probably thinking better of that as he sees Dakota Floyd up on that higher groove. But Bradley taking another crack at it in 1 and 2, and it's just so tough to hold that thing down there and get the drive off. You're going to have to move a guy. With Dakota Floyd being there, he can't pull a slide job. He can't just brake late and ride it in, drift up in front of the 11. He's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And that 11 car is not cutting him any slack. This could use up tires for the 114, so he's going to have to be careful here. He's going to have to pick his battles. And the 11 looks like he might be getting a little impatient with the 24. Let's go on board with him. He was right up on the bumper there for a second. Dakota Floyd looked like maybe he's struggling a little bit. Running in the 11th position on board right now with Christopher Spencer. And 12th spot. So, as it sits right now, your leader is clocking out from this field 2.8 seconds lead for Keaton Tripp. And he's just doing it a little bit better than everyone else. About 4/10 a lap, or 2/10 a lap, as he pulls away now to 3 seconds. Let's go on board with this machine. Just to give you an idea of what these drivers go through. Look how he's working that wheel, working the throttle simultaneously, back on the brakes. No sooner do you get on the throttle, you're back on the brakes. Here he is again. A little drift up, a little right hand, and then back on the brakes again. Wash, rinse, repeat. And you have to have it perfect. This place will bite you quickly. We have to go back our 3.5 seconds back to Troy Cook, who is pulled out ahead of Richard Holland by about a second now. So this top three is really getting spread. Chuck Sweeting was looking to the inside of Tommy Haynes earlier. This battle has since tamed down a little bit. Closest battle on the track still right here. Vern Bradley trying to get by Dakota Floyd. He couldn't get by the 11 just a moment ago. I do want to apologize. My voice has been given up today. Caught a bug from my boy. So if at any point I start to voice crack or I need a quick little break, just that's where I am right now. And we're going to get through it together, chat. We're going to get through it together. Behind them, Burt Wilson was looking inside of Glenn Jamieson. That was for the 15th position. These guys are just outside the top 10, and John T. Wimbish is starting to make some headway on the 114. As they settle out, Vern Bradley moves it up a lane. Let's go on board with the 75 and Chuck Sweeting, who's really low on the bottom here out of 4. Just can't complete the pass. It is so tough. You can tell as soon as he gets to the throttle, that thing wants to drift up, and he's not going to be able to pass him that way. Glenn Jamieson looking inside of the 56 of John Wimbish right now for 13th position. Austin Wagner casting a vote for the 26. I tell you what, I'm on point today. I am on point today. We had Brian Beach just clip the wall there for a second. He's got a little right side damage on that machine. Brian Beach currently being shown in the 16th position right now. A little bit of an off day for the 18th. Nothing he can't recover from, but he's got a lot of time and he's got a lot of ground to make up. Have to go back 15 seconds to the 18. But this battle heating back up here. 75-17, side by side off of 2. It looks like Chuck Sweeting's going to finally complete the pass and get by Tommy Haynes. So put the 75 in 4th position across the line here. 52 laps into this thing. Keaton Tripp has done a phenomenal job. Now he's navigating lap traffic. But he's led 51 laps so far. 52 now as they cross the line. Keaton Tripp in another time zone. 5 seconds ahead of Troy Cook, running in 2nd. Back here to 3rd position, Richard Holland. You can find about a 6-second gap from the leader, a 1-second gap up to Troy Cook. And then Chuck Sweeting, who's turning on the afterburners now, it seems like. Starting to close up the gap to Richard Holland. Holland running a really high groove compared to Sweeting. Sweeting's all the way down on the bottom. That might work in the 31's favor later on in this run. I'm not sure how far they can go on fuel, but with limited sets of tires, you might be able to afford electing not to take tires on this first stop. That could get you by later on in this race. When you have a fresh set of sticker tires ready to go, it could be a big advantage with a track like this. So the guy that started outside the pole, fallen back just a little bit. It's Rick Fagone. He's currently being scored in 9th position, hasn't fallen out of the top 10 yet. But I tell you what, for him to be starting up there on that outside. He got pinned up there. He had a good restart the first time, but the second time, totally pinned up on the outside. Couldn't get to the bottom of the track and lost a ton of time. Now it looks like he's got the machine back underneath of him. He's just gonna bide his time, do well. I was a little bit off on the cautions, guys. I predicted 1 caution before lap 15. We had 2, I think, technically. The second caution coming out on lap 14. But no lead changes here tonight in North Wilkesboro. Really close battle here. We've got a whole group of cars that are just one on top of the other, and the 114 gets a little loose on the exit of 2. 18 of Brian Beach tags him on the bumper, and now the 114's going around. Yellow flag is out.
Sure. Everybody on the racetrack,
and the 114's gonna park it for the night. He tows it down to pit road. Let's go back and see what happened to Vern. I know he was getting a little bit loose, but off of 4, really bad for him. Right here you can see he gets loose on the exit of 2. And just maybe a little touch there by Brian Beach. Nothing major, but now we're going into 3 and 4, and you can just hear this thing. It's not connected to the road anymore. So caution number 3 on the track. And we've got green flag pit stops. Some of these guys gliding through their stalls. It's very tough. A couple different cars took a little bit longer in pit lane than they wanted to. One of the guys that took the longest was Glenn Jamieson. 32.1 seconds down to his pit stop with a 14.4 on that service. You've got Todd Cleveland, who elected not to pit this time. He's going to have 15-lap-old tires on this stint. Might actually be 63 laps old. I don't know if he took tires on his last stop or not, but right now as it sits, we're going to cycle through. He might be getting a wave around. This might be a product of going a lap down. Dakota Floyd, Glenn Jamieson, a lot of these guys are up here probably close, if not did go a lap down. I remember Keaton Tripp passing some of these guys. We'll chalk it up to that. Wave arounds in front of him. You've got Burt Wilson, Glenn Jamieson, Todd Cleveland, Dakota Floyd in that hunt as well. These guys are very thankful for that yellow on lap 60. So lights are going out on the pace car. Wave arounds going to go by. We're getting grouped back up, ready to go green for the 3rd time here tonight. Hope you guys appreciate the amount of effort that goes into this place. These guys are really working hard. I know it doesn't sound like it should be exhausting, and everyone's mentality, it is a game, but as far as sim racers go, Keaton Tripp, he's definitely sweating in there. Green flag is out. There he goes. And a huge jump for Keaton Tripp, 0.3 of a second in one corner. We had a car tag the wall, and the yellow flag comes out. It's Kyle Stewart.
Difficult official this week. So
Gets a piece of it, 72 down the front straightaway. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Oh, the 114 just snaps loose in front of him. He's totaled that machine. Let's see if we can go on board with Vern and figure out exactly what happens here. Oh, the tires just don't connect at all. Throttle input throws him out hard into the outside wall. Let's go back one more time and right on board with the 72. He's just a victim of circumstance here. Helmet camera on this machine. Presented by Amy Contracting, and just wham into the wall, throws the machine all the way up in the air. That thing right side completely off the ground. And the 72 burned a fast repair earlier in this race. Now finds himself on pit road. And Keaton Tripp been consistent all the way through all of this. He's led all 68 laps. Dominant performance thus far. And we're at 69 out of 165, 68 laps completed. 4 cautions here tonight, no lead changes. I'll give you the weather of this track right now. Air temperature 75, 87 degrees Fahrenheit on the track. The track surface very greasy though for being as cool as it is. 9 to 8 mile an hour winds. So that could cause a little bit of issue on the exits of these corners. Wind catches the spoiler a wrong way, or maybe just getting too soon on the throttle or too heavy is usually the reason. It's a very technical track, very tough to master. But while we get sized up here, we're gonna go through your top 3. There's Troy Cook. You saw the leader, Keaton Tripp. There's Troy Cook in second position. Chuck Sweeting's going to come out third after those pit stops. So maybe on the restart, maybe he was able to clear Richard Holland. I'm not sure if it happened on pit road or not. 31 of Richard Holland in 4th spot. And then we've got Dustin Germain in the 5th position. Haven't talked much about this guy yet this season, but looks like he's having a breakout performance here. 70 laps into this race at North Wilkesboro. 54, finding himself up in the top 5. Excellent drive for him thus far. Hopefully he can seal the deal and bring it home with a podium, maybe even a win. But somebody's going to have to get up here and compete with Keaton Tripp, who's been clocking out, taking his own time zone, has walked the field thus far, and 71 laps in, when we take the green here, he's going to get the restart zone at his discretion. That's a big advantage for the 26. He doesn't have to worry about getting pinned up on the outside, and it's helped him every time so far. He's going to hit the loud pedal again. Pace car pulls off. There he goes, like a hole shot. Dirt bike. Not quite the jump this time. Chuck Sweeney was ready for that. Now the 51 pinned up on the outside. Troy Cook under fire from Chuck Sweeney in the 75. Able to clear him. Does a little bit of late braking and maneuvers himself down there. 31 of Richard Holland. We've got a wreck. Another accident back here. Couple different cars bounce off the wall. And Rick Fagone looks like he was involved in this. Let's take a look at this. I tell you what, we're going to run out of gas for this fire. There's so much fire here tonight. Here we go. Green flag is out. And Lieutenant Rick Fagone up on the outside of Brian Beach. I think this is about where the wreck starts. We have a checkup by the 17, and that happens in front of Brian Beach. Enough to throw the caution, though. Let's run on board with Brian Beach and see what he saw. Oh, the 17 goes down in front of the 20. Looks like maybe a little bit of net code there that pulled the 17 down. That causes the 18 to check up, and the 10 has nowhere to go. Rear ends Brian Beach. So there's caution number 5 for this. And I tell you what, they're still doing a better job than we did here last year. The very tough track. And again, I'll reestablish, these guys are working the wheel. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And we talk about sim racers. It's the closest thing you're going to get without the death factor in the sport. So if you're not tired by the time this race is over with, you weren't trying to win it. I can tell you that right now. If you're not sweating, if your shoulders aren't torn up, if you don't feel like you just punched the wall for 3 hours, you weren't driving it hard enough. And these guys know that, especially with the direct drive wheels. They can really torque and have a lot of force feedback. It will wear you out quickly. And nobody knows it better than Keaton Tripp right now. But he's Iceman up towards the front. Keystone Light getting ready to go green again. Lights are going to go out on this iRacing pace car for the 5th time tonight. We've reached about a third of the way through this race, and I just want to say the weather is not so much a factor as it is just driving error for some of these guys. It's unfortunate how quickly this track could sneak up on you, and I think iRacing has a little ways to go tweaking maybe some of the issues that this track has. This truck is very low on power, so comparatively, when you bring a car like the Xfinity car out here, it's going to be even more of a handful. You're trying to connect 800 plus horsepower to this pavement. I tell you, I'm kind of dreading it, chat. I don't think that I'm 100% ready to go, but Keaton Tripp, he's ready to go. Let's see what happens with the 51 of Troy Cook. He was able to clear the 75 last time. Is he going to be able to do it this time? Off the exit, doesn't get the clear quite yet. He does bury it down into 3 and 4 in front of him. And Dustin Germain, look at him. Look at him showing up to the party. Competition is getting stout in the top 4. Right on top of each other. Chuck Sweeney almost tags the bumper of the 51, and then the 54 almost hits him. These guys can't decide who's going to be in second position, but the 54 now peeks to the inside of Chuck Sweeney for just a brief second. Look at all the cars thundering around this place, and Keaton Tripp 0.5 of a second ahead now. Driving it down to the bottom. Richard Holland peeks the inside for 4th position, but there's nothing there. It's going to be really tough to pass here. Go back here to Matt Egan. He was on the outside of John Sanu for just a second there. Almost some contact. These guys running really close off the exit of 2. 10-car Rick Fagone looks like he's still struggling a little bit. He clips that outside wall going into 3. Was looking for another battle to start brewing up here. 54, Dustin Germain. There's our battle. Just behind them, Tommy Haynes. Let's see if we can keep both of these battles in focus. And then they go and make a liar out of me. Single file out, coming off of turn 3. Now the 20 peeks to the inside for a second. Outside line seems like it's prevailing. You can't drive it in quite as deep. You either get the advantage into the corner or out of the corner. And that's why it's so tough to pass, because you've got 2 different lines that work on opposite ends of the track. You can't change it up. .86 out of 165 completed now with 86 laps. Keaton Tripp 1.3 seconds ahead of Chuck Sweeney in that 75. He's running away from Troy Cook in 3rd spot right now. And then Richard Holland, Dustin Germain have not given up on each other. The battle continues to go on for 4th spot. Holland's working on him, but it's taking a lot longer than he'd like it to, I can tell you that. Oh, we got Matt Egan, the 11, hard into the outside wall. Do any of the, yeah, we've got a wreck. We've got a big wreck.
Be ready with, there you go. Be ready with that brake cleaning stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down.
Todd Cleveland, Rick Fagone involved. They dive down to the bottom of the track to try to dodge this accident happening in front of them. See if we can get a better camera angle of this. You see Matt Egan and the 11 machine of Christopher Spencer, and these guys just dive it down in there and they can't avoid it. Let's ride on board with Rick Fagone. Fagone might have saved that, but Todd Cleveland slides and slips into there. Now let's go on board with Matt Egan, because this 02 machine goes for one hell of a ride into the outside wall. It was actually ride with the 11 of Christopher Spencer. There's initial contact, then they hit the gate, and that throws the 02 off of them. A lot of contact happening here. So caution number 6 on lap 90. And some of these guys coming to top off. I can tell you a few different cars that have come down pit road. Tommy Haynes, Bert Wilson, Todd Cleveland, Chuck Sweeney coming down pit road as well. Christopher Spencer and Rick Fagone. Why not? Might as well get that damage fixed without burning the fast repair. It's 9:43 Eastern time. We've made it 93 laps, coming up on halfway. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to try to get some of my voice back. WFO Twisted Tuesday, Amy Contracting Truck Series. We'll be back right after this. Brisket, not meth. Oh, God. All right, we're doubled up. Green flag is out. Here goes Keaton Tripp. Hits the loud pedal perfectly. Matt Egan got caught up in that earlier. He's back out on the track, but I tell you what, he's got Keaton Tripp right up in his mirror. You see this whole pack of cars back here. Troy Cook falls back a little bit, but he's able to maintain his second position. Dustin Germain in third right now. Richard Holland fourth. And John T. Wimbish out of nowhere. And we've got the 20 car, Kyle Stewart, bobbing and weaving down in the bottom of the track. These guys trying to avoid him. Coming off of turn 4, almost 3 wide. And the 17 clips the 20. I don't know how they didn't crash. Phenomenal driving by the 20. He was able to save that. He's in 8th position now. He falls out of the top 5, but that could have been so much worse for the rest of this field. These guys starting to get a little antsy now. The pace is starting to pick up, and you can see it in the way that they're making mistakes and maybe trying to pass or force the nose in there. 17 all the way up the track here, but nice drive off down the backstretch. Now he clears the 20 of Kyle Stewart. Todd Cleveland, who was a lap down earlier in this race, back on the lead lap, now back in the top 10. And he's recovered nicely. Chuck Sweeting, who elected to take tires. Look at him storm through this field here. He elects to pit. He's all the way down on the bottom right now, coming off of 4. He's able to just clear the 56 of Wimbish. Now working on Richard Holland. He's next in line. Tell you what, these fresher tires probably going to be an advantage for the 75. But will he catch the 26 in time before green flag pit stops? I don't know. It's quite the gap back here to the 75. 2.5 seconds right now as it stands. Matt Egan is going to be in trouble. He's about to go another lap down. I think he might actually be still on the same stint, but he's about to go a lap down. Last car on the lead lap would be the 10 of Rick Fagone, who has a tremendous amount of damage right now. Tonight has not been good to him. I think he's found every corner of that race car and took the paint off of it. Left side looks terrible, but he's still got that fast repair in his back pocket. You don't want to burn that too early. Might be something he's saving for the end of this thing as the race progresses. All right, through your top 5, Keaton Tripp, here he comes off of 4. Then you've got Troy Cook in second position, 1.8 seconds back. Dustin Germain under fire now from Chuck Sweeting. This is for third spot. Chuck Sweeting with his fresher tires down to the bottom. Let's see if it give you an idea of the difference of tires here. 43 laps this stint for the 54 and 14 laps for the 75. Tremendous difference. Now you see Richard Holland just inside the top 5 trying to take a crack at the 54. And Dustin Germain has a great truck though. Retrospect, he's able to hold on to the outside line right now. This is a contrast to what you just saw with Chuck Sweeting with entirely different tires. And there's a couple other guys that are on a different stint, maybe even just fuel-wise. Glenn Jamieson in that category. 63 and 14th place right now, 15 laps on his tires possibly. We've got the 70 of Burt Wilson, who's showing 16 laps on his tires. He's able to get around Brian Beach. He's just outside the top 10 here tonight. But Burt Wilson having a pretty solid day thus far. Matt Egan gonna fall victim to being a lap down. He will be the first car a lap down. Last car on the lead lap is the 11, who's coming down pit road. Right side's going up on that machine. This might be a scheduled pit stop. Look how fast these guys get around this place. Keaton Tripp ready to put him a lap down. He might be able to put him 2 laps down. $110 laps completed. This guy has led all of them. And he's in another dimension right now. Keaton Tripp just doing a great job all the way through. I'm really surprised I haven't lost my voice yet, Bill. I've been working on it this whole time, but I'm really surprised I haven't lost it yet. There's the 20 car of Kyle Stewart. He'll be the last car in the top 10. He's got Burt Wilson behind him, though. And based off what we saw a little bit earlier, that 20 car really close to making a mistake. He has the 70 right up the bumper. John Sanu running in 9th position in front of him. A little 3-way battle. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a different style of passing and racing. You go to a D-shaped oval, it's kind of finesse, could compare it to any kind of other, maybe even figure skating. I'll put it in with that, or dancing. It's essentially what you're doing. You're following the other guy's lead, or a woman, or whoever you prefer, and at the end of it, you're just trying to get around the guy in front of you with as much finesse as you can. At this place, this is more like boxing. This is more of a beat yourself up, trying to stay in front of a guy, beat the guy up in front of you, whatever it takes. Work on him for 7-8 minutes until the end, until you hear a bell or you go another round. And 117 laps right now. These guys have been working this wheel. Keaton Tripp getting by the 72 right now of Jacob Daniels. He will be the first car a lap down. Matt Egan would have to get by him for the lucky dog position. Dakota Floyd, we saw him earlier in the top 5. He's a car that's got 56 laps on this stint. I don't know what happened to the 24, but he has lost a lot of positions from the last time. What the fuck am I talking about, Nation? I don't know. Why don't you come in here and tell me? It's nice to know I still have your attention. I've been talking enough that I've been able to maintain it. So it's good to know Nation's actually here, guys. He's watching the stream. He's in the broadcast. Keaton Tripp, 2.4 seconds ahead of Chuck Sweeting, who's trying to get by the lap car of Matt Egan currently. He's got 2 lap cars in front of him. And then Troy Cook with Tommy Haynes. These guys really close together for the 3rd spot. Tommy Haynes able to put the nose out there, but not able to complete the pass. And opposite ends, he's running the high groove, and we've got a car up in the wall, maybe bouncing off the apron of the track. The 72. Jacob Daniels, he's stops it right in the middle of the track
I don't know why you
and brings out a yellow.
Can you hear me? Did not hear him call that caution. Need you to check your radio connection. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side.
So let's figure out. I know the 72 hits the wall here. I know he hits the wall, but he stops in the middle of the track, and this brings out a yellow. He blows the engine. He can't go. Okay, that's why he had to stop. And he can't go any further. Engine pops, and there's nothing he can do. Watch John Sanu. How did they not crash into the back of this machine? I have no idea. But I can guarantee you that was a pucker moment for the 86. How in the world did he not hit him? Let's go on board with the 70 as well. Burt Wilson. Crazy things happening here in North Wilkesboro today. What's going on, Diana? We've had some crazy stuff happening. Car pops an engine on the back straightaway and brings out caution number 7. We've actually had a pretty clean race. It hasn't been too bad. I'm impressed with these guys and their talent to get around this place, but it's a handful for some of these boys, I can tell you that. The 72 team losing an engine here. Gonna park it for the night. Jacob Daniels behind the wall. We have one other car, Christopher Spencer, that's still on the iRacing grid, and then Vern Bradley is out for the night. 61 laps down, I believe, is the gap there. So how is everyone doing today on this fine Tuesday evening? I know the weather got bad for some of you up in the Northeast. Already declared state of emergency before that snow even fell. They moved I think it was the Bills game to Detroit. We've got some more votes for the 51. There's Rick Fagone going around to get a lap back. 51 at Troy Cook. There he is right there. Currently being scored in the 3rd position. Started 6th tonight, so he's made up some time. And he's been battling for that 2nd position all race long, really. Will he have the advantage this time around? He's got Keaton Tripp, who dictates the start here. Pace car about to make that hard left-hand turn. There it goes, and trying to get those tires to hook up for the 51. They're side by side up here. 51's gonna fall in line. I think he's not clear, and he was gonna move up in front of the 17. Tommy Haynes able to edge the nose out there. Now he has the advantage, and he's gonna go to 3rd spot. Battle side by side. Richard Holland losing a ton of time on that inside groove. 55 of Todd Cleveland back up into the top 5. Good to see he recovered. He was one of those guys that was caught up in one of those earlier cautions and ended up going a lap down to Keaton Tripp the old-fashioned way. Dustin Germain side by side. Now we've seen this already once today. 31 and 54 just can't decide who's going to be in front of who. This is for 6th position right now. And we've got a car spinning. We've got 2 cars spinning. Completely stopped on the racetrack here. Chuck Sweeting sideways, doesn't really have anywhere to go right now. Caution number 8, and this one a little bit bigger than last time. See if we can find what happens. The 17 might have gotten into the back of the 75. Some of these guys able to sneak by, but this track just clogs completely up. Here we go side by side, and the 17 hops the curb, gets into him. Locks it up and just has nowhere to go. 51, Troy Cook involved in that. A couple different guys that got involved here. 55 and Todd Cleveland probably has a little bit of damage from this. Oh, Cleveland just squeezing it through there. Let's get in on board with that for a second. He's going to thread the needle off at 4. Barely touches the wall. I think he got the best end of that deal, but then you see Richard Holland loses a ton of ground because there's just nowhere for him to go.
What the batshit crazy fuck is going on in here?
A race?
Oh, really? Where?
North Wilkesboro.
Never heard of her.
Well, we're sitting here watching Keaton Tripp. He's led, I think, every single lap here tonight. The cautions have just been flying. 134 laps for Keaton Tripp, and then we have Troy Cook in 2nd spot. Some of these guys just barely squeaking by that last accident. I don't know. I really, you know, we had a pretty decent green flag run there from lap 15 to lap 52 or 53. They doubled back up. Lights are out on the pace car. You see a lot of these guys are getting loose off the exits. The 17 just got loose in the center of the corner and Uber corrects it, slides up and bounces off the side of Chuck Sweeting, who had different tires. As far as the stint goes, everyone's pretty much equal now. 30 laps to go. Keaton Tripp hits the pedal. There he goes. And the 55 of Todd Cleveland gets a little loose. Checks up the inside line. And Richard Holland, who has already lost some ground to that last caution, gets stuck behind him for just a brief second there. Kyle Stewart and Dakota Floyd side by side. Matt Egan gets his lap back. He's side by side with Glenn Jamison. These guys tagging the outside wall. I think they're pushing it a little bit harder every lap. Holland stuck in a traffic jam here for the 6th position. Gets a little wiggle there. Stuck on the outside of Todd Cleveland. Had John Wimbish in front of him. There's really, by definition, nowhere for the 31 to go tonight. Still side by side. 6th back to 10th. This is where my timing and scoring keeps telling me to look. Closest battles on the track happening right here, just inside the top 10. We've also got a car that's fallen off the pace a little bit. The 51 of Troy Cook back to 4th spot. And he's going to get passed by John Sanu, who's up in 3rd now. Cleveland outside of the 20 of Kyle Stewart, and then we have some racing going on behind these guys. Brian Beach in the middle of this hunt. And he's loose. He almost loses it off of 2. Tommy Haynes dives to the inside, able to avoid that. Thought we were about to see caution number 9, Nation.
Just 9.
Just 9 so far.
Just
22
9.
laps to go. Still plenty of opportunity here for that caution number 9.
I think we're going to go for double digits.
10 cautions at least. I'm not for sure. I made a prediction early in the race that there would be 1 caution around lap 5 or so.
Did you
lower
forget
than that.
where you were at?
Well, these guys are pretty talented. I give them more credit.
Did you forget? Really?
It's not so much where we're at, Nation. I think it's just a product of guys that are starting to run out of patience. And here we are, Dustin Germain in 2nd spot. John Sanu was under fire by the 51 of Troy Cook.
I mean, if you were going to predict 1 caution, I would have saved that till next week.
You never know at these places, man. These guys will surprise you. They'll throw you for a loop. You think this is going to be a caution-ridden race. And yeah, I think I had that mentality before it began. It's just a tough track, you know? It's just a tough track. It really is.
You had a brain fart, just admit it.
No, I knew where we were. These guys put me on false pretenses. We came out here from lap 14, ran it all the way up to almost lap 60 before they had their 3rd caution. So I thought we were going to go clean and green from there on out. But we keep bunching this field back up, and it just creates more havoc. 17 laps to go. Keaton Tripp. He's led all of them, and he's trying to lead the last one. 148 laps.
Well, that's really the only one that counts.
Yep. That's where you get your points. That's your paycheck right there. Keaton Tripp just got to do it 16 more times around this place. Look how far the spread is on the field here. And now Troy Cook looking to the inside of John Sanu for 3rd spot. Almost a door touch there into 3. 51's going to be able to clear him here. I think it's going to be a little slide job. And he gets by. Richard Holland might be peeking. I thought the door was open for a second. Sanu slams it shut. And it doesn't matter what you do, Nation. This thing slides around the whole time. You can be easy, you can baby it. Keep your tires cold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm still going with 11.
You're going with 11 cautions?
Caution,
Yes, sir.
caution.
And there's caution number 9.
Damn it.
Tommy Haynes, I believe, involved in this one. Keaton Tripp awfully close to this. So we can figure out what happened here on the track. Tommy Haynes going to the inside of Matt Egan. Just can't keep it down there. There was not a lot of room. Egan probably could have given the 17 a little more ground, but
You ever
let's
notice
go on board.
that fucking caution flag waiver dude? Man, he really waves the fuck out of that thing.
Oh, I got something I want to screenshot later
Oh,
if I get
God.
a chance.
I don't
I gotta
think
figure out
wanna
what
see
it is first, though. I gotta confirm what it is. I think it is what I think it is. Like, I don't know for certain.
Hey, I needed the money. Shut up.
Wow, I can't believe that, you know, it's even life scale. Like, it's perfect. All right, so caution number 9 out on the track. Some of these guys dropping it down pit road, taking right sides, left sides. Very few 4-tire stops. Somebody might want to tell these guys you have limited sets per side of the car as well. So taking right sides, you now limit yourself to taking left sides only or never using those left sides. I don't know. I think I'm taking 4 tires here.
Definitely.
All right, Burt Wilson's going to stay out here. Some of these guys on 33-lap-old tires. You've got Burt Wilson, Todd Cleveland, Chuck Sweeting, Dakota Floyd, and Brian Beach all up in the top 5 with 32-lap-older tires. It's going to be interesting. I think some of these guys... Burt probably has enough of a cushion with these guys behind him that they'll be able to hold off an onslaught of cars.
With 9 laps.
He might have a chance.
Or I guess it'd be, what, 7 laps.
He has as good a chance as any. We don't know. We don't predict. We try to stay as biased
limited
as
all his
possible.
fucking chances.
Well, I mean, think about this. All right, you've got limited sets of tires. You might have already taken your last set, 34-lap stint. Stay out, see what happens. We could have another yellow flag come out, another caution that would put us in less than 2-3 to go when we take the green. Burt Wilson has a good situation here. He's just going to have to capitalize on it. Pray that the guys behind him don't get worked up real quick. First car with fresh tires would be the 26 of Keaton Tripp. Currently scored in the 26th position, or I apologize, 6th position. The 26 car is in the 6th position.
Yeah, there's not 26 cars.
We've had a pretty big field here tonight, though. 19 cars electing to start this race, 17 still on the track. Loud pedal for Burt Wilson, and here we go, green. Gets a jump down to the inside, but he's all the way on the bottom of the track. He's got 3 wide behind him here, coming off of 4. Sweeting, Cleveland, Keaton Tripp, still 3 wide. And I thought the yellow would happen there, but it happened somewhere deeper in the field. They ran 3 wide almost all the way around this place. Machine Kyle Stewart involved. Matt Egan looks like he might have got a piece of it. He tows quickly to the pits. Let's see if we can get a replay. Oh, they were 3 wide there with Wimbish John Sanu, we had several guys that just got tangled up there.
Tangled and mangled there.
86 all the way down on the bottom. Matt Egan sticks his nose in there and goes into Wimbish. And man, that access gate tears the hell out of Matt Egan's car. But let's go back again because I'm impressed with this 3 wide right here. These 3, I mean, yeah, there's some contact. The 55 does bounce the door of the 75. But, man. Let's go on board. You're going to ride in the middle. Let's ride in the middle with Todd Cleveland here. No contact. So they kept it clean, and they go into 3 and 4 still right up the middle here for Todd Cleveland. That is some talent right there.
It's a gallon talent.
All right, Burt Wilson able to hang on, and I told you he was in a good situation. Green-white checker coming up for the 70. Keaton Tripp is hungry, though. He came by on the outside, was able to clear both Sweeting and Todd Cleveland before that yellow flag dropped. And they made very quick work of 5 different cars all the way back to Brian Beach, who is now being scored in the 8th position. These are cars that didn't take tires that last time, chose to stay out. Todd Cleveland is one of those cars that's got 40-lap old tires compared to Keaton Tripp with 8-lap tires. There's only one car up there in that top 3 that has new tires, and that's Keaton Tripp. And I think that Burt Wilson was just hoping those guys could hold off Keaton Tripp. It didn't happen.
If Wilson pulls this off, I will eat your hat.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I tell you what, if he can get a good restart, get a jump, there's a possibility of another caution coming out, another situation. We could enter under a yellow. That would be good for Burt. I think that's maybe realistically the only way he can hold off Keaton Tripp with a 30-lap difference in tires. I just don't see it happening. But we're about to find out. Lights are out on the pace car.
You have a hat?
I do.
Green flag.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
Packers hat. It's probably going to taste bad, but here we go. Green flag is out. Burt Wilson could not get that thing to hook up, and Keaton Tripp is setting sail on the outside. And a yellow flag comes out again. Troy Cook spins down into turn 1. I believe a single car accident here for the 51 machine. You said 11 cautions?
Yes, sir, I did.
We're sitting at 11 right now.
Well, you can't have another one.
We can.
No,
we can
you
have
can't.
one. We can have one more, and that would be the end of it. Let's go on board with the 31 of Richard Holland. He's right behind. This field accordion's up here. 51 of Troy Cook just gets really loose. Some of these guys just trying to get a good spot from attrition. And I mean, you've got so many different things going on right now. If you have an extra set of tires, I don't know. I think if you're from 8th place back, come down pit road, grab that set of extra tires and see
Well, it
what
ain't like-
happens. Try to
Like
make
you
some
can
magic.
Take them home with you.
Nope, you can't take them with you. There's no rollover
Nope.
tires. Your top 5 right now: Keaton Tripp, Burt Wilson, Chuck Sweeting, Todd Cleveland, and Dakota Floyd. Burt Wilson, 45 laps on this stint, and probably, I would say, green flag laps, somewhere in the 30 range as far as tires go. But, man, if you've got him from, like I said, 8th place back, I think I come in and I take this final set just to see what I can do. Because you're already that far back. You've got nothing to really lose. And it might put you in a situation where you miss the wreck. If we do have a wreck on the white flag, you might be back far enough to avoid it and pick up positions anyway. I don't know. This is the gamble. Not one of my favorite tracks.
Oh,
but,
no.
you know, green-white checkers is going to make it interesting. Keaton Tripp's going to be on the pole. He gave up the lead, though, tonight. Didn't quite have that flawless victory of leading every single lap here tonight. But he damn sure tried. He was close.
Close enough.
You can see he led 160 out of the 169 completed. Burt Wilson going to be another one of those drivers that did lead some laps. He led the other 9, so as you can see, 2 lead changes. That's it. Hasn't been really eventful once that 26 car gets up in the front. Here we go, doubled up. Not going. They're going to wave it one time. Lights go back on the pace car. I thought we were getting ready to go green, but maybe still some debris out there on the track. WFO officials waving the green flag. We're going to pace one more time. Now the lights are going out on the pace car. And we're doubled up. Does Chuck Sweeting, Todd Cleveland, Burt Wilson, does anybody have something for this 26? Or is he going to hit the loud pedal and take off? I think he's just going to shoot out of here like a whole shot at a dirt bike track. It's just perfect. The newer tires really help you connect. I think you're about to see a big jump here by the 26.
Yeah, he gone.
All right, here we go. Our left turn for the pace car. Can we finish things out green? The accordion effect already for Chuck Sweeting. And we've got cars bouncing off of each other. Down into 1 and 2. 3 wide again. 54 on the outside. 24 Dakota Floyd backs out of it. They're peeking at it again. It's 3 wide now. Burt Wilson, Sweeting, Richard Holland almost there in the mix. They're still 3 wide off of 4. White flag is out. Keaton Tripp looks in his mirror. He's got no one behind him. They're trying to settle it out here. Burt Wilson trying to get into 3rd. And Chuck Sweeting might edge out. The 54 of Justin Germain beats him to the line for that 2nd position. 3rd spot's going to be Chuck Sweeting. And what a finish there. Let's go back and watch this last couple of laps up here towards the front. You can see Dustin Germain is just driving the wheels off this thing all the way up on the outside. Almost takes it 3 wide right here. Then they do go 3 wide off of 3 and 4. Burt Wilson stuck in the middle. Chuck Sweeting on the bottom. Todd Cleveland even in there in the hunt. He's 3 wide with him a couple times. Raw talent, though, to get by with that. But the real event of the day, nice and quiet up here towards the front as Keaton Tripp comes across the line. And he just drifts it into turn 1. That's how you burn it down right there. In the aftermath of all the things that happened, Keaton Tripp able to get back up to the front, reclaim that pole, reclaim that throne. We told you what was going to happen for anybody else to get into that situation. They were going to have to edge out Keaton Tripp before he got back to the line. Here we go, 26 in victory lane. Race winner here tonight, Keaton Tripp. We're going to have post-race interviews, driver of the day, your top 3, right after this.
Racing, it's in our blood.
From the No Limits of Texas, with the high-speed banks at Daytona.
I mean, nobody's going to catch that 3 truck of Hal Amy. as he takes it.
And the drop of the green flag. It's a green flag pit stops. It's in their DNA. We live for it. There's 7 nights in a week. And only one night matters to us. The moment to prove that we're the best. Laying down an entire season. Pushing the limits. We're made for it.
Bumper, Artie Peterson out to the lead. Glenn Jameson's pushing hard now. Garrett behind him. Top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Artie's going to drop down to the inside. 10 car's going to start pushing. These guys are getting a little dicey back in 5th and 6th place. Little contact between the 14 and the 70. 63, 3 wide in the front. Artie Peterson stuck out in the middle. Brandon Winning, we got a car down on the apron, 70 car, and now a car up in the wall. We got a wreck behind him. 1 lap to go. Rick Fagone has got the position right now. Garrett Helmlinger and Glenn Jameson neck and neck. We got a push on the inside, push on the 10 car. Rick Fagone.
All right, we're down here at WFO Victory Lane with Keaton Tripp, able to get it done on that last green-white checkered. Keaton, take us through. You had 3 wide in your mirror, and you just set sail.
Yeah, I figured that was the only chance I had with my new tires, and everyone had old, so figured send it on the outside and hope nobody gets into me, and it worked out. That that last caution with the 10 to go there, that really scared me. I didn't know what to do there. If I wanted to take tires or stay out, and I went in, got the tires, and it worked out in the end. So could have been bad though, but it worked out.
Well, you led the vast majority of these laps. You led 165 tonight, and most importantly, you led the last one. How hard was it to pass on the outside when you were all on the same tires? Was it tough all the way through this race to pass?
Be honest, I really don't know. The only time I had to pass was like there on that last 6 laps there, and I had fresher tires than the guys in front of me, so I just figured I'd try to stick it on the outside, and it worked out, and it stuck, and no one got into me, and zoomed past them, and it just worked out, I guess, and I got pretty lucky tonight, I feel like.
Well, situational awareness, man. That's why you make the big bucks. That's how you bring it home and in first place. But congratulations, Keaton. One heck of a drive, and back-to-back wins now. You won last week in the Xfinity car, and now you put one into the truck bracket. Excellent job, Keaton.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to put another 3 in a row tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes with the car.
I know it's a handful. This place is a very technical track. Might be maybe the 3rd or 4th time that I've even personally watched racing at this place. But do you have anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's victory?
Friends watching at home, mom and dad, I think, watching, and then Austin, you guys putting on these races and the broadcasts. It's really fun to do this every week, and that's all I got.
We appreciate your time, Keaton, and we hope to see you next week when we travel to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep, I'll be there. See ya.
All right, there's your race winner here tonight, Keaton Tripp, and now we're going to catch up with Chuck Sweeting in the 75. He's down on pit road. We were looking for Dustin Germain, but I can't find him in the Discord, so if he is in the broadcast, hop in the Discord real quick. Right now, we've got 3rd place finisher Chuck Sweeting. Chuck, man, 3 wide, older tires. You were able to hold on to it and get that 3rd place, but man, was it a handful. You guys went 3 wide several different times before that. I think you were the very few that were able to do that at all.
Yeah, it was it was kind of crazy there. You kind of expect that at this short track. I think I got in. I think I squeezed Todd and Keaton when we had that restart, and Keaton had those fresh tires, and I didn't get the call for 3 wide till we were about halfway down the back straightaway, and I yanked the wheel to the left. But as soon as I did that, the caution come out for something else that happened. So fortunately, we didn't wreck. But yeah, it's just one of those short track races that you get up front and then something happens, you end up in the back, and you got to work your way back up again. I did that a couple times tonight. Kind of ran out of tires at the end there, but it was a good race. It's one of the better races I've run on this track. Uh, Believe it or not, most of them have about twice that many cautions. So these guys did really good tonight.
Yeah, it's a very tough place to race. This will be my second time ever being on it tomorrow night, and yeah, it's not. I don't think these cars with their setup belong here yet. I think iRacing has a lot of tweaking left to do, some work maybe with the road surface. But you guys made it look easy. With that 3 wide, I was thinking, okay, there's going to be a yellow, and then it ended up happening back further in the field. So kudos to you guys for that. That's just raw display of talent.
Yeah, the setup's a little off. It's really tight on entry and center, and then it's free on throttle getting off just because there's no grip on this track, so you just spin the tires coming off the corner. But it makes it challenging. But it was a fun race overall. Really, even if I hadn't had finished top three, I still would have come away feeling feeling like I had some fun here tonight.
Well, Chuck, we're going to Charlotte Motor Speedway next week, and I know that you favor these short tracks. You did really well here, and you did really well at the Milwaukee Mile. But tell us what we got in store, because we've seen a glimpse of it, but what are we going to see at Charlotte from the 75?
Hopefully, I can qualify better than I did tonight. I put myself in a hole tonight with my qualifying, but yeah, if I can start up front, I can probably stay there, and I'm usually pretty good there. But one thing about Charlotte is everybody loves that track, so everybody runs it a lot. So everybody's pretty competitive there. So we might see a lot of pack racing, a lot of close racing, and hopefully everybody keeps it clean. But it's a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get some long runs in, and see who's better at saving tires and what have you. But everybody's got a lot of experience there, so I think we should see some really good racing.
Well, we appreciate your time, Chuck, and you did an excellent job bringing it home in third position. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank real quick?
I just want to give a shout out to Amy Contracting for helping with the series, and the admins for all the hard work they do, and appreciate them letting me participate, and looking forward to next week. Tomorrow night, actually.
Tomorrow night, we're going to be right back here, and it's going to be you thought this one was a handful. Add another 200 horsepower to it, and it should be interesting.
Yeah, but I think these guys will be fine with it. It should be as good or better than tonight, especially after we get some laps in tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just thanks to everybody that puts the show on.
We appreciate your time, Chuck, and good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thanks a lot.
There's your third place finisher, Chuck Sweeting. We got one more guy to catch up with. It's Troy Cook, man. One more guy. Troy, I tell you, man, it was a tough break. He got loose there in that first green-white checkered, slid down on the grass, and you were on pace for maybe a top 5 there. You had newer tires than some of these guys, and it was looking good, but just victim of circumstance there at the end.
Yeah, I kind of blew it, went in the corner a little too hard and had to stab the brake, so I didn't hit the dude in front of me, and I just lost it. I found a way to blow it for myself there.
Well, you said blow it twice. What are you, from Las Vegas?
Ish, kind of.
Ish. See, the thing is, we've seen a product of that several times tonight. Guys that were trying to check up, just not trying to get into each other, or they lock up the front tires and spin it out on their own. How tough is this place? Just put it in perspective for people watching at home.
And me.
It's definitely a driver's track. I mean, it's not wide open like the 1.5 miles are. You really got to take care of your tires and not slide them. Old Keaton, he's really good. I never seen him. You know how you get loose off the corner sometimes? I never seen him slid once. Yeah, he's good.
Well, I know that a lot of these guys have got these new pedals, and I've been looking into it as well. The braking is the main issue. It's so easy to lock up these tires and slide through the corner, and really upset the car for the rest of the drive if you do that one time.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what I did. And if you do that and don't crash, then you flat spot your tires. And yeah.
Well, we're going to something a little more familiar. Next week, we're headed to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it will be a night race. So, what's the plan here? The 51 team. We've seen a lot of glimpses of promising finishes and just some stuff, circumstances happen or what have you. Will we see a turnaround here next week in the truck?
I think so. I'm getting better, getting back into it. I had like a year and a half off of here, and so I'm just getting back into it. And I think that maybe a few more races I can get a top 3, maybe win. Be awesome.
Well, congratulations on driver of the day. And I know you'll try to make it tomorrow night. I know that your schedule doesn't quite work always with Wednesday nights, but do you have anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's? I know that it wasn't what you hoped for, but that finished tonight.
Yeah, just you, Coop, for putting on this broadcast. You do an awesome job, and Hal and Vern and Michael, McCauley, Vern, Nation, all you guys.
I'll just
Thanks.
sit here and wait.
Oh, I said
You always
Nation.
got a nation first when you thank people. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's at least what my contract here on the desk says.
Yeah, damn, we got two different contracts. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, litigation wise, like I just always try to do the things by the book and read from the script. But
yeah, my name's not even on the goddamn thing.
Congratulations on driver of the day, Troy, and I hope you can make it tomorrow night. But if not, we hope to talk to you next week.
Yeah, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm headed to Vegas to Mom's for Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna miss tomorrow night. But I'll be here next week for sure.
Can I go?
Hell yeah, I'll pick you up at the airport.
Sweet.
That means you got to buy a plane ticket, Nation. You gonna be able to fly? You on a no-fly list yet?
I probably am because I have a bottle opener.
A bottle opener?
I don't think they'll let me on there with that.
No. What I can tell you is the aliens will probably pick you up for free. So.
Nice. All right, that'll work.
I want to come.
Let's go, baby.
All right. So probing aside, we appreciate everybody that was here for tonight's race.
Probing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap this thing up. If you know what I mean.
We done now.
Hey,
we appreciate your time, guys. What's up, Troy?
I'd just like to say thanks to Diana and Denise and Cindy Teed and everybody in the chat. That's pretty awesome.
The Amy Army.
At least I can get up here. At least I can get up here that way. But we're gonna try to improve and get up here the old-fashioned way.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, it's a tough place to get around. Oh, excuse me. I am not feeling well today, guys. I really apologize. I'm surprised I still have my voice by the end of this. So I'm gonna go get some shut-eye. Hopefully get, whatever it is in my system out so I can bear to drive this thing tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 8:30. I'm going to go 8:45. Try to be here on the YouTube. That's Eastern time. As yours truly and some of these familiar names square off at North Wilkesboro Speedway in the Xfinity Wicked Wednesday Xfinity Series here at WFO. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you never miss a single race. Until then, guys, I appreciate it. Bradley Cooper for Nation 01, Vern Bradley, and everybody up here in the Village Idiots. We appreciate your time. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Racing. It's in our blood. From the No Limits of Texas to the high-speed banks at Daytona.
I mean, nobody's going to catch that 3-truck of Hal Amy as he takes it.
From the drop of the green flag. To green flag pit stops. It's in their DNA. We live for it. There's 7 nights in a week. And only one night matters to us. The moment to prove that we're the best. Laying down an entire season. Pushing the limits. We're made for it.
Bumper, Artie Peterson out to the lead. Glenn Jamison's pushing hard now. Garrett behind him. Top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Artie's going to drop down to the inside. 10 car's going to start pushing. These guys are getting a little dicey back in 5th and 6th place. Little contact between the 14 and the 70. 63, 3 wide in the front. Artie Peterson stuck out in the middle. Brandon Winning, we got a car down on the apron. 70 car, and now a car up in the wall. We got a wreck behind him. 1 lap to go. Rick Fagone has got the position right now. Garrett Helmlinger and Glenn Jamison neck and neck. We got a push on the inside. Push on the 10 car. Rick Fagone looks like he might pull it off neck and neck at the line, and the 10. Oh, and the Garrett Helmlinger. I can't believe what I just saw. It looks like Garrett Helmlinger.
Survival of the fittest. 16 chase drivers. 1 championship. Who's got what it takes? Does it give the command to start the engines? It's time to find out. WFO is live right now.